On the issue of trademarking rattle, BLord has 1 point, VerydarkBlackman has 1 point. For you to understand the reason why I said that, you must watch this video to the end. Now, remember the issue on context is trademarking rattle. BLord came out and said he has trademarked rattle. VerydarkBlackman equally came out and said he has equally trademarked rattle. So which of them can we say? For us to understand that, which of them can we follow to say, okay, it's genuine? For us to understand that, we have to look at the issue, how registration of trademark is done in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, there are 45 classes of registration. 45 classes. You can understand these classes to be category of business, because they call it classification. That's why they call it classification. They classify every business in 45 places. 34 of them is goods, only goods. You understand? While the remaining 11 is services. So that is how they classify all. So now, if you want to understand this classification further, let's say vehicle is under one classification, wares is under one classification, cement can be, or building materials can be under one classification, kitchen intensive can be under one classification. You understand? So electronics can be under one classification. That is how they classify it. They can classify it like that, group. So if you want to register or you want to trademark a name that you so much want, you so much like, and you want to protect that name, so what that means is that you have to come, because you are already doing one business, obviously. So, or you have intention of doing one business or additional business. So you have to, let's say you are doing electronics, for example. You have to do a registration on that electronics alone. You understand? You can do a registration for that electronics. So they will trademark it. That so name, let's say the Supreme, for example. The Supreme has trademarked electronics on his name on electronics. What that means, nobody in Nigeria can use that my name, trademark that my name on electronics. That name belongs to me alone as far as electronics is concerned. You understand? So if I now said, okay, I want to trademark it on wares, I can trademark it on wares. It means nobody can come on wares again and use that very name again. That is how it's been organized. So if I don't want anybody to use the Supreme, for example, I have to trademark it for the whole 45 classifications. I have to trademark it. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 registration. I'll trademark it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All. I have to do all for the whole 45. So that means for the whole of Nigeria, nobody can use that name. If they mention that name, it has to be anybody that use that very name. I can sue the person. That is how it works. So a situation whereby you only do one, somebody else has the right to come and do a registration with that very name for another listing. Somebody still have the right to come and say, let's say you do for electronics now, I do the Supreme for electronics, I leave the remaining 44. You understand? 34 is goods, the remaining 11 is for service. I leave the remaining 44 out. Somebody can use the same name, my very name, and register for wares. Somebody has the right to do that. So you see how they organize this system. Okay? Now, VerydarkBlackman came out and said, okay, he has trademarked the rattle, and the rattle gang. Now, the question that will be is, did VerydarkBlackman trademark all of them for all of the 45 classification? That is the question you need to ask yourself now. Did VerydarkBlackman trademark it for the rest of the classification? Because if VerydarkBlackman just pick maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of this classification and do out of this category, I want you to understand. You understand? The classification is just like a category of business. So if VerydarkBlackman just do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another person can come and use rattle and trademark it for another classification, maybe 1, 2, 3, or maybe another just one. Another person again can come and use the same rattle and continue like that. That is how Nigeria's system works as far as trademarking is concerned. You understand? So if, in my own opinion, I just feel that VerydarkBlackman might not have trademarked those names for all. Not even one. I do not even. I feel even only Rattle, he might not have trademarked it for all the 25. You understand? For all the 25. He might not have trademarked it for all the, 45 rather. You understand? So that is the situation. You can see how the loophole is. You can see, I feel, because I believe that VerydarkBlackman is not a god. He cannot know everything. Maybe he might just feel that, okay, maybe just do 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or this. In my own opinion, I feel that because he might not know everything. Because even though he felt that, okay, he understands that somebody might actually come tomorrow to drag this name with him, he might still feel that, do I necessarily, will that person come and be dragging, will the person be his enemy or be Lord? You just feel some reason, you understand, you know who a human being, we don't know until something started playing out in our eyes. So I don't believe that, but then we just have to wait for him. You know, sometimes that is how he plays his game. He give you half information and then he come up with another information later on. Then, looking at BLord has claimed that, okay, I've trademarked it. BLord has not showed us any form of certification or any form of processes, document of processes of trademarking. He has not showed us, just claim, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, and that is that. So we just still have to be patient and wait again and see what comes out of it. But for now, the possibility that VerydarkBlackman has trademarked Rattle Gang, Rattle, and the Rattle is there. And the possibility that BLord has trademarked Rattles, because there's this thing that they said BLord has actually changed the Rattle to Rattles by adding X. Well, I've looked at that. If you know, I've looked at that, but it's still remaining Rattle. If you go to Play Store, you look for Rattle, you still see it is still Rattle there. So if in a way you know where he actually has changed it that is effective, maybe you can drop it at the comment section. Let me even look at it too. But for now, the possibility of VerydarkBlackman having his own trademark, the Rattle and Rattle Gang is there. The possibility of BLord having trademark Rattle, and not mean with X, even without X, is still there. That is the system. That's how it works in Nigeria. So we must have it at the back of our mind so that we don't get carried away. That is the genuinity of this information. So with this, I say peace out.